but nobody could brainwash them into harming their kids. That's what netizens with children feel. One person comments, when the little boy was asked who put the duct tape on him, who poured pepper and honey into his wounds, he told authorities it was his mom. Another netizen writes, she was happy for the kids to be abused until she was caught. Then it was someone else's fault and she was controlled by Jodie. I think she's worse than Jodie. She allowed her own children to be abused, and that's gross. Or another reading, does she not realize she's worse than Jodie? These are her kids. She tortured her kids for years and enjoyed it. One netizen comment says, crazy that when Jodie was possessed, she invited her into their home and Ruby slept in the bed with her, comforting her. But when her kids are, quote, possessed, she chained them up and almost took their lives. I would say that most netizens believe that both Jodie and Ruby are equally at fault. And yes, Jodie has been wanting to do this to people. She had been doing this to people like her own niece, Jessie Hildebrandt. But Ruby clearly had something deep inside of her that let this happen. Adam, another victim of Jodie's from part 2, says, now here's what I do want to say. I don't like Ruby Franke, but I don't know her. I just think that you have to be a selfish person to fall for Jodie's stuff. She's got a certain kind of carrot that gets a certain kind of people. But Ruby Franke would have never done any of this stuff if Jodie Hildebrandt hadn't been the mastermind and just completely created this. Sherry, Ruby's own daughter, states in the new documentary, looking back on it, I don't think Ruby's a good person. I think she was already an abusive mother before, and then obviously it escalated dramatically in the last couple of years. And the fact that Ruby went as far as she did, I wouldn't blame that on Jodie. She just set off things in Ruby that were already in her heart. But one person that does not get talked about as much is a woman named Pam Botcher. Pam is the president of Connections Foundation, who also happens to be a mother of 7 and a grandmother of 14. If you go on the Connections website, it's all about Jodie, Pam, and Ruby. They were known as the Three Musketeers. Now, not that Kevin is arguably the most credible person according to the internet in this case, but in one police interview, he mentions, again, if they find the pen papers, quote, if you're interested in Pam Botcher, that's going to tie Pam Botcher to all of this. What's in those documents? What's in the pen papers? And Pam is accused by netizens of going in and getting rid of the pen papers before the police get access to them. The 2 teenage daughters were found not in the Franke house. So the 2 youngest kids were found in Jodie Hildebrandt's house, which was like 300 miles away from the Franke home.